Sorry, but Star Trek. Voyager would have been better without this beloved character. Star Trek. Voyager had a lot going for it. A bold female captain, an uncharted region of space, and a ship isolated from the Federation that allowed for real narrative freedom. And yet, for all its potential, the show sometimes felt like it was holding itself back. Much of that can be traced to one character who, while undeniably beloved, may have actually done more harm than good to the show's long-term storytelling and development. That character is the Doctor. Yes, Voyager's emergency medical hologram EMH, played by the incomparable Robert Picardo, is often cited as a highlight of the series. His dry wit, character growth, and existential explorations made him a fan favorite. But what if Voyager would have been better without him? Let's start with narrative balance. The Doctor's role on Voyager quickly shifted from comic relief and crisis medic to a narrative crutch. Whenever the writers needed a philosophical debate, an emotional core, or a breakthrough, they increasingly turned to the EMH. The character's very nature, a hologram who gradually becomes more human, gave writers license to rehash themes already explored in the next generation through Data. But where Data's journey was constrained by logic and limitations, the Doctor had almost limitless flexibility, not to mention mobile emitters and backup copies. His arc became bloated, overshadowing others. Meanwhile, characters like Harry Kim and Chakotay were left in the narrative dust. Their development often stagnated because so many emotional and moral dilemmas were funneled through the Doctor instead. Chakotay, as Voyager's supposed second-in-command and ex-Maquis leader, should have been at the forefront of ideological conflict and character growth. Instead, he became a background figure while the Doctor explored humanity, art, relationships, and even dabbled in command. Imagine if those storylines were more evenly distributed. Would Voyager have had a stronger ensemble feel, like Deep Space Nine? Probably. Moreover, the Doctor's increasingly omnipresent role affected the show's stakes. A central theme of Voyager is scarcity of resources, personnel, and backup. They were alone in the Delta Quadrant. But with the Doctor, that sense of risk was constantly undermined. If someone died, he could probably fix it. If the ship was under attack, he could just appear wherever he was needed. He was literally unkillable, and when he got the mobile emitter from the 29th century, the narrative practically declared, "We're not even pretending this guy's a hologram anymore." Every brush with death became less dramatic, less urgent. Having a character immune to aging, damage, or fear removes tension, and for a show that's supposed to be about survival in hostile territory, that's a problem. There's also the ethical dissonance that Voyager never fully addressed. Early episodes show Janeway hesitant to treat the Doctor as sentient. Later, he's clearly evolved into a self-aware being with rights and emotions. But his status on the ship never quite matches his growth. He still gets ordered around, rebooted, or disregarded when inconvenient. The show flirts with important ideas. Is a hologram a person? Can a program own art or fall in love? But often treats these questions with frustrating inconsistency. Without the Doctor, Voyager might have been forced to tackle the ethical gray zones of artificial intelligence in a more grounded, less contradictory way. Even from a tonal standpoint, the Doctor's role could be jarring. His comic timing was impeccable, sure. But when you're trying to build tension, nothing deflates a scene faster than a snide holographic one-liner. His levity often clashed with the tone of serious episodes, or worse, replaced the emotional labor that should have come from other characters. At a time when B'Elanna Torres was dealing with identity issues, or Tuvok with loyalty to Vulcan ideals, the Doctor was cracking jokes or hijacking the narrative. It was entertaining, but was it good storytelling? Finally, there's the missed opportunity angle. What if Voyager had to truly struggle without a Doctor? That's a dramatic premise. A Starfleet crew thrown into a distant quadrant with no medical officer, having to improvise. What if Kes, Neelix, or even B'Elanna had to learn medicine under pressure? That would have added tension, creativity, and allowed neglected characters to shine. Instead, the Doctor became the magic fix-it machine, holograms, and eventually, opera concerts.